All right. Hey guys, it's us again. We're so happy to have you here again and to watch our video. And today we're going to talk about a really interesting video for highly sensitive people, or interesting topic, excuse me. Because actually highly sensitive people really seek meaning in life. They want to find meaning in everything that they do. And here, purpose is a really important one, especially in relation to your career. So what we're going to talk about today is how to find your purpose within your career and your life in general. And yeah, we'll talk about how you can find it, but also explain how we found our purpose and use our own businesses as examples. So yeah, we're so happy to have you here, and yeah, we can't wait to share our insights with you. So Tiara, you actually have quite some interesting insights, I know, on how to find your purpose. As an HSP coach, you know a lot about this. So I would just like to hear insights.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the things that I focus on in my program. One of the things I wanted to add, though, real quick, just your introduction, is just, look, we're going to share as well the inspiration behind why we started the businesses we started. So if anyone's curious, like how we ended up doing what we're doing, that it also coincides with us finding our own purpose, and how you can also use sort of the formula that we've been using or that we used as our examples for yourself as well. So I'll first start off by like how I landed into being a highly sensitive person coach. And so it was kind of a culmination of just like looking over my life and realizing that I was really interested in holistic health. It's kind of something I grew up learning about without even realizing it, because my mom was working in the field. And then a few years ago, I discovered the highly sensitive person trait, and that just like blew my mind, and I became fascinated with it, learning more about it. And even when I was like really young, I was always that friend that people would go to for advice, like just naturally. Didn't even realize it was really happening until actually my first like full-time job after college. I would go to lunch with a coworker of mine, and it was like every day I was just sitting there, like she would like ask for all my advice and tell me about all these things, and it wasn't like it was coming from a place of like I know more than you or I'm better than you. It was just the conversation just naturally ended up there, where she felt comfortable kind of opening up to me, and I was always like, oh, I would love to help you with that. Here's my insight if you want to use it, basically. And she was like, you're really good at this. You should like do this for a living. And it was the first time I thought, wow, like you're right.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of a cool like culmination of me realizing that all of those like puzzle pieces could fit together if I created something that incorporated all of that. And as a highly sensitive person, I wanted something that gave me the freedom to be able to work from home, work at my own pace, and do something that felt really meaningful to me. So that's sort of my like quick story of how I kind of drew all of those little pieces of myself and created the business that I've created and that I'm passionate about. And so I don't know if you want to talk about your inspiration.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, actually, funny thing is that what I'm doing now, I'm a writer, and I'm also supporting businesses in understanding Pinterest. And I really, with HiSensitives, I try to inspire people to really embrace their trait. But I do this with writing. Everything I do is online. So the nice thing about it is that I can do it from home. So I can work at my own pace and listen to the rhythm of my body, which basically was my inspiration to become an entrepreneur, you know. But there's this whole passion behind, because my intention was always to help other people. I've always been told since I was very young that I'm very helpful, that I'm too kind. It's something that I think a lot of highly sensitive people hear, this need to help others. And I always wanted to help others. In relation to HiSensitives, I wanted to help people to really embrace the trait, to love themselves and to wear it with pride, you know, because a lot of people still hide it away. And I know that I can't do it like you do it really one-on-one, and it's so close. But I know I could not do that, because I would just absorb all the emotions from everybody around me and take them with me. So I knew I had to do it more from a distance, to help from a distance. And that's why I actually founded HiSensitives together with my partner, to do it by writing about the trait and to share tools and methods on how to deal with your trait. And that really worked out well for me, because I can really combine it well with my personal life. And also my other business, which is called AK Helps in Dutch, so AK Helpt. It also is all about helping entrepreneurs to achieve their best and to create a successful Pinterest account and to use it well. And also I help them by writing texts for them. So it's all, again, my purpose is helping others and helping them to grow, and either if it's their business or either if it's their personality or like working on their personal development. It doesn't matter to me, as long as I can help and contribute in some way. My purpose is done. And that purpose was already put in my DNA when I was born, because as I said, it was found already in young age. People told me, you're like so helpful. So it's something that's in your DNA, your purpose. And that's what I'm trying to say. If you're trying to look at your purpose, look at what's really part of you and try to implement that in your work life or in your personal life, wherever you want to find your purpose, you know?
Yeah, and I think going along with that, at least from my perspective, I think that you can have multiple purposes. Like I think sometimes people kind of get hung up in their one grand purpose, and then it becomes this like huge daunting thing. Like I don't know what my one purpose is, but I kind of like thinking about that you might have multiple purposes, or you might have, you know, something that you're meant to do for a certain period of time, and then at some point you switch gears and open a new business or something, or maybe it's not even about business. Maybe you have a purpose that's to support someone you care about throughout their journey or whatever it is. So for anyone listening there, you could think of your purpose as your career and or something else as well. And you don't have to be limited to one purpose, because I think you might feel like there are definitely people that you see from a young age, like you were talking about, where it's like you feel so strongly that there's this one thing and you want to really pursue that. And there are other people who have like multiple interests and they're not quite sure, and there might be a way to like combine them. Or maybe you do one for 10 years and then you do the other one for, you know, so like,
true.
Kind of be open, I guess, to what that looks like, I guess is my point. But going along with that as well, I think a good way to look at it, if you are trying to find like your business purpose or your career purpose, is that I would look for like 3 things to kind of be in place. So the first one is that it's something you enjoy doing. Because if you don't enjoy doing it, you're not going to want to do it your whole life. And there's no way that you're meant to do it if it's not something you enjoy. The second thing is that it's something you're good at. So obviously you have the skills and the talents probably naturally, or the ability to learn about it and be really interested in develop those skills to be able to do that job well. And then the third piece is it's something that the world needs. So it's some sort of service that in some way helps others evolve, helps others be supported in their own businesses, like you were talking about with yours. So it's kind of like filling those 3 needs. And I wanted to share just a quick story of those examples in my life and how I sort of like worked through that process myself. So the first thing that I thought I was going to do when I was younger was theater design. That's what I grew up sort of doing, and I loved it in high school, and it was a huge passion of mine. And I went to school for that my first year of college, and kind of had this rude awakening, because I realized like that the theater business in like the real world, you have to work 100-hour work weeks. Like if you're really serious about having a theater career, you have to put like so much of yourself in your life into focusing on that. And I just, as much as I loved doing it, it was something I really enjoyed. It was not something that fit my highly sensitive needs in terms of lifestyle. And I guess that's kind of like a hidden fourth piece, is like something you enjoy, something you're good at, something the world needs, but that also works for you as a highly sensitive person, for all the highly sensitive people.
It's a very good one.
Yeah, because if it doesn't, like, that's kind of, I had a sort of a like heartbreak moment when I realized that I didn't think that being a theater designer was something that I was going to be able to do. And it kind of like shook me up for a while, but looking back on it, I'm happy where I am now. And it makes sense to me that it had to happen this way, because I realized I'm like, I'm not going to be able to do any self-care. I'm not going to be able to have like really, and there are some people like my friends that I grew up with, like actually my high school sweetheart is a lighting designer, and we were both like following the same sort of path of doing theater. And he was one of those people that he loved it so much. He was like, I am so fulfilled by putting my whole energy into this. Yeah. And he was the perfect person to continue down that path, because it totally
it fit his needs. Yeah.
Right. But for me, I was like, I can't do 100-hour work week.
No, you really have to feel that it fulfills you in order to be able to do so.
Right. Yeah. And so then what happened was I switched majors, and when I graduated college, I was just looking for anything I could do, right, when you graduate college. So the first job I got was in retail, and the second job I got was working with children. And those were both things that I was told over and over again that I was so good at, but it was not something like, and not to say that working with children is not amazing, because it is, but especially for a highly sensitive person, it can be very draining to have like 30 children that you're
Definitely, yeah.
So that was an example of something that I was good at, but didn't necessarily fill the other needs that I had. And then eventually I landed in the kind of coaching realm where I was like, okay, this is something I do enjoy. It's something that I feel I have the skills for. It's something that definitely there is a need for it in the world, and it fits who I am as a highly sensitive person. So it's kind of like had all of those check boxes.
Yeah. And I think if a final thing, if you want to discover your purpose besides these 3/4 items, is to look at, imagine yourself on your deathbed. I don't know if it's a word in English, but I think it is. Imagine yourself when you're really old and you're lying there almost dying and reflecting back on your life, and ask yourself, what are you proud of? And look at what would I be proud of at the end. And if you can mention that and put it into words, it's a really good guideline for you in which direction you should head with your purpose. It can give you a good guideline and where to go, because I can imagine if you're like really still searching, it's so broad, you have so many options. Just ask yourself this question and try to relate it back to themes of potential directions that you could go, and go from there with a model that you're saying. I think it's a good one.
Yeah, it's kind of like what legacy you want to leave behind, or what you want to be known for, what you want to provide for the next generation, or even your family. Like, what is it that you want people to be reflecting on and say, like, it's so amazing that this person was here because of this thing that they did. And it's like, fill in the blank.
Yes, and it's amazing.
It's at the end of that sentence. Yeah,
and it's amazing. I think you can apply this question to everything. Like, just looking back and take it from there, So anyways, I think this is very useful for the users, and we're so excited to hear about what you think your purpose in life is. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. We'll be happy to answer them. And I know that also Tiara helps highly sensitive people to find their purpose. So if you're really looking for direction, just contact Tiara and she will be happy to help you.
Yeah, I was even going to mention, because we talked about this in another video, that we have a Facebook group that we manage together where we sort of have these types of conversations. So if anyone is really curious to kind of talk with other highly sensitive people, like helping them figure out maybe what their purpose is, please join our group. We'd be happy to have you. We do talk about topics a lot. And it's kind of fun to see what other people are saying, and it's kind of a safe place to be able to mention that. And then as well, when you're in that group, or at any point, if you're friends with me on Facebook, or shoot me a message. And if you're interested in being coached on life purpose, that's absolutely something that I can help with. So
so if you're curious to connect in any way, look in the description and you can find all the links there. Anyways, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for watching today, and we hope that you find your purpose, and we see you next time. Bye bye. But anyways, I think that's quite useful for the viewers to know this thing. I couldn't get out of my words.